Men having power over women makes HIV spread further and faster. It's called gender inequality, and it helps drive the HIV/AIDS epidemics in Black America and Africa.
The problem that we get here in Africa is that women are by and large dependent for their very survival and existence on men.
Talking as a Xhosa man, there's a whole lot of masculine beliefs, behaviors, expectations, if you like, that definitely do contribute to the spread of HIV/AIDS. Sexual promiscuity, for example, the expectation that when you're married, you have to have at least one other mistress. The not using of condoms.
A man can have as many as 20 wives, can have as many as 30 girlfriends. Now, the AIDS teaching says stick to one partner, be faithful to one partner. So they can't stand it. They can't stand it.
The women in our rural areas still believe that they have no right to say no to the advances of a man. They earn less money than the men, and it's come to the situation now because of that, that they either have to prostitute themselves or their daughters to put food on the table.
In Black America, gender inequality is more subtle, but it still helps spread HIV. Women significantly outnumber men in many African American communities. That means women often don't have equal power in relationships.
I definitely wanted a man's love, and I was willing to take a man's love from just about anywhere.
How did you get HIV/AIDS?
I got it from my boyfriend, my only boyfriend that I ever had.
In 2009, the Black AIDS Institute published a breakdown of how Black American women with HIV got infected. Only 20% got infected from injection drug use. The vast majority, 80%, got infected the way Clarice did, through heterosexual sex. Researchers say it's extremely important for women to insist on condoms because we are biologically more susceptible to HIV. Women are twice as likely as men to get HIV during unprotected vaginal sex, and we are 8 times more likely than men to get HIV during unprotected anal sex. Many of us don't insist on using condoms, even though they help protect us from HIV. We fear losing our partners.
Do you use any protection?
Mm-mm.
You know?
No.
What do you think he might assume if you said, let's use a condom?
That I was having sex with somebody else, or that I had something, or just anything. You know, boys just... I know you wouldn't just be like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea, so we could protect ourselves from HIV. I know you wouldn't be like that.
How did you guys come together? How did you meet? Just to back up a minute. How did you meet? How did all this happen?
Oh, we went to NYU's graduate acting program, so that it wasn't hard to meet her. She was the only other Black girl in my class.
I grew up in Zimbabwe, and so my experience had been seeing women dealing with this issue. They get kicked out of the home, they get humiliated, their children get taken away. Things like that have happened in my society.
Tembi, how do you come to live here?
I'm coming to live here because my family was chasing me out because I'm HIV positive.
Tembi contracted HIV from her boyfriend, but he was not forced to leave his home or his community.
I was crying with my doctor Then I take all my things, then I decide to go. I don't know where I'm going to stay. I'm going to live and eat.
Who in your family, which person was chasing you out?
My mother.
I told my mother we have to go.
Your mom wasn't sure what to do?
Yeah.
But you made that decision?
Yes.
Timby died of an AIDS-related infection in 2008.
Why the woman blame issue? Why is that?
It's that is a big why that I battle with myself. I want to know why. I think that it's something that is completely illogical. I think that it's rooted in elements of a male-dominant society. Absolutely, it's so rooted in that. The first piece I wrote, the first line of it was, I never looked him straight in the eye. There's a little girl who never actually got to look at her father straight in the eye. So that sort of supreme power then leaves the woman as the fall guy, unfortunately. And so when things go wrong, it's very easy for those in power to direct the blame to those who are without, which, you know, is undoubtedly always the woman in my society. Uganda's, their way of dealing with issues of AIDS right now is to have a consensus of girls' virginity, not looking at the boys' behavior left completely unchecked. And it's like, if girls were to remain virgins, AIDS would go away. And I mean, the illogic nature of that sort of an assertion is what drives me crazy about my culture. And I embrace my culture in so many ways at the same time. There are many beautiful things about it, but this is an element of that's proving destructive.
I think the aspects by degree within the African American culture may be different by degree, but in essence it's the same phenomenon. Which is why I think a lot of people in our society have been known not to even disclose to the people that they have been intimate with, not because they don't care about them, but because having to face them and to perhaps deal with the physical repercussions and relationship repercussions and the stigma of society, they'd rather just say, okay, today I start anew and just move on.
I think that we teach our male children differently than we teach our female children. I think that black women in particular are not told enough that they are valued, that they are worthy, and as a result, I think that they are vulnerable to having their self-esteem being dependent on the attention or the affection or the acceptance of a male partner. But there's this saying that that black families raise their daughters and love their sons.
And so when you're faced by a golden child and you are not one yourself, you have to yield to that because you can't put down your man. You can't challenge that golden child, otherwise it's like undercutting it. It's like undercutting. In the same way that I guess the phenomenon in this country when Anita Hill called out Clarence Thomas. I mean, you can't, the wrath that she got from the African American community from trying to prevent this man from rising to the top is very evident. Like you can't make it harder for the brother.
It's betrayal.
It's betrayal. It's cultural betrayal. You can't make it harder for him, even if he's made it harder for you.